Okay, let's go. I'm Georgie McLean, I'm 35, and I am going to be crazily running from John O Groates to Land's End in 12 months' time. This is where I'm starting, up here, and this is where I'm ending up. That is the equivalent of 875 miles. Time on feet is quite a lot. It's going to take me about 2.5 weeks. How did I get into fitness? So it's a bit of a strange journey. I begun, as most girls do, wanting to get into shape for the girls' holiday. So I spent a lot of time on the cross trainer, on the treadmill, walking uphill, not really doing much. And then one of my best friends at the time had taken part in a bodybuilding competition, and I'd seen this incredible body transformation. I decided to sign up over Christmas, started my prep on the 1st of December like an absolute lunatic, and signed up for my first bodybuilding competition. And that was a journey that took me probably quite seriously into fitness, what would be deemed as serious, for about 2 years. So off the back of bodybuilding competing, which I wouldn't recommend personally to anyone, I got really bad body dysmorphia and a terrible relationship with food. I actually gained an eating disorder where I would binge eat. I would use food as self-harm. But one thing that I was always really consistent with was my training. I don't think anyone can really, I don't think you can ever match the feels that you get for the end of a workout. I can honestly say I've missed workouts from my plan less than one hand. I'm just so dedicated to the cause. So my journey took more of a positive stance, I like to think. I found functional fitness. I actually met the most amazing community from Marchin. So Ollie Marchin, followed him for a long time, started coaching with them online, and then I ended up joining their gym. Even though it took me an hour to get there 4 times a week, I used to commute to go and see them because they've got this incredible community there. And what I love about functional fitness, there isn't this association with your figure. It's about just working out well together as a team. And it was just so refreshing to not have to think about what I looked like. It was just what I trained like. And that was the first time that I actually realized how good I was at training, but I wasn't looking at the external validation that I was trying to get through fitness. And then typical me, wanted to do a challenge again. I then got into functional fitness competing. Turf Games, one of my favorite events, absolutely love it. Love Andy, love the crew, love Lee. Again, functional fitness is more about a team sport. So it was the first time that I'd ever been training with people. I'm actually pretty good. I didn't realize, or I didn't believe that I was any good at sport, but it turns out I'm pretty strong. It turns out I can be quite fast, and it turns out I can be quite good if I put my mind to anything. So then I decided to get a one-to-one coach. Now this gentleman has been super incremental to my journey, Mr. David Birtwistle. So I'm not gonna lie, I'd stacked on a few pounds. I'd rebounded quite badly off the back of competing. But I was trying not to concentrate on my weight, but I knew it was something that I wasn't really happy with. So I decided to get David on board with me to basically get me into shape so I felt good while I was working out and competing. I know that they do fall in line with one another, but I needed someone to hold me accountable, and that's what's amazing about having a coach. So yeah, I called on David and he took me on board, and I coached with him for about a year in total and lost 12 kilos. Yeah, 12 kilos in weight, which was amazing. And he got me in the best shape physically as well that I've ever been in my life. So what I've learned, or what I'm learning about this journey, is the importance of like strength training, which I think people believe that when you're a runner, all you do is run, which actually is what I believed it was all about. But strength training is a massive, massive, massive part in assisting me on this journey. COVID-19 happened. Yeah, that wasn't good for us fitness fanatics. I'm so used to bouncing around gyms in London, bouncing around at my local gym. The gym to me is a bit of a crutch, to be fair. It's my go-to. It's the place where I go party, literally. I don't go out and party anymore. I go to the gym. I socialise there. It's that feel-good place. It's something I lean into a lot to make me feel good. And when good old Bozza decided to tell us that we weren't allowed to go to gyms anymore, I decided to try running. So, running. I hate running. Well, I don't hate it now, but I hated running. Like, the McLeans just don't run. We're not born runners. My mum was like, you just don't look like a runner, like you've always hated running. So put on my trainers and started running. Shin splints, they're not fun. But slowly but surely, I was doing like 5Ks, then worked up to 10Ks, but still limping at the end of it. So I set myself like a little milestone of a half marathon, which, to be fair, I never ever dreamt that I would even ever run that far in my life. And at the same time when this was all going on, so my mum's got a disease called orthostatic tremor disease, which is in the family of Parkinson's, and she got diagnosed about 4 years ago. I find it quite difficult to talk about that, but my mum's like one of the most resilient people I know. Like, she's battled cancer, like she's survived, you know, some really hard stuff in her life. And this was the first time that she wasn't going to be able to fight or overcome something, this disease, because there's no cure for it. It gives these tiny tremors in your legs that stop you from walking. Mum's managed to keep it at bay, which is incredible up until now, through Eastern acupuncture. So we go to this amazing Vietnamese acupuncturist in St John's Wood, but obviously with COVID and everything, she couldn't go and get treatment. And when she's stressed, it brings it on. And obviously it's been quite stressful the past few months. And she progressively was getting worse during lockdown. Like, she actually at one point lost use of her leg. And it was the first time that I've seen my mum like not able. So when I was running, I had like this bit of an epiphany, because I was like, how am I going to run like a half marathon in 2 hours, like, you know, a 2 hours time on feet? How am I going to do this? And I had this bit of dawning, like going, George, just fucking do it. Like, you can move, like, you're privileged to be able to move. Like, Mum can't even walk at the moment. And it was the first time that I attached my ability for my fitness and how fortunate I was to be able to just walk, to run, and I wanted to use it for some good because I was able. So I thought I wanted to associate my fitness with the challenge where I could contribute and give something back. I think there's so much relevance with this with now, because when we were taken, like when exercise was taken away from us, we're like, oh my God, you know, how important is it to have it in our daily lives? Like, to health is wealth, right? But not, people don't necessarily even have that. They're not that fortunate to even be able to, you know, have that in their lives. So this is where the epiphany happened, where I had the dawning of sort your shit out, Georgie. You can run further, and my attachment to the sport, if you like, to contribution and charity, and believing that I could give something back with running. Georgie, keep freaking running. Like, don't be a pussy. You're actually able to run. You're just being a pussy about it. But also having the thought that, my God, I'm actually lucky that I can move. I was like, right, I need to do something for charity. Like, I need to give something back. I need to, you know, in a roundabout way, give something back to my mum, you know, and do some good out of my fitness. Instead of just always like attaching it to, like, you know, the way I look, but to attach like a goal to raising money and creating awareness. So I found a charity. I knew about this charity anyway, called the Tremor Foundation, which are the only charity that do research into the form of Parkinson's that my mum has. And so, yeah, I'm gonna raise hopefully a decent amount of pennies for this charity and to bring awareness. And also just like to give people the belief system that you can do anything that you believe you can do. We're going to document the journey, the 12-month journey. I'll be setting up a Just Giving page for donations towards the Tremor Foundation. And yeah, I hope people will follow. It's going to be lots of lols. I'm sure plenty of tears, oodles of blisters. And I mean, where am I at now? I mean, I can run a half marathon. So yes, in 12 months' time, I've got 875 miles to run. It's quite scary when you say it, actually. That equates to about 2 marathons a day for just under 2.5 weeks. It's a lot of time on feet. So let's see how the journey goes. What did I say? Someone says I can't do it. I'm like, fuck you. I'm gonna show you I can do it. It's like a red rag to a bull.